Hey everybody. Alright, so I wanted to talk candidly about one particular scene in Star Wars, particularly the Last Jedi movie. Oh god, every time I think about this movie, it actually pains me. Now, people have gone on ad nauseum about everything that is wrong with this abysmal movie. I could probably begrudgingly stomach everything in that god-awful movie. From the utter disrespect they treated Luke's character, to the ridiculous scene of Leia flying back into her ship. But as much of that annoys me on a nostalgic level, on a lore consistency level, a character development level, one particular scene in that movie bothers me on a logic level, on a world building stage. And that is when Vice Admiral Holdo flew her, the Raddus into the Supremacy using hyperspeed. There is so much wrong with that I need to get into. One, that is not how hyperspeed works. When you enter hyperspeed, you are no longer in physical space, or else you'd crash into things. And even something as small as a pebble, which there's plenty of different terrestrial bodies in the vastness of space, you're bound to hit something eventually. So no, you're not going through physical space, and anything at that speed would tear your ship apart if you were in physical space. So she would not be able to tear through the ship like that. That wouldn't be how that would work. Two, let's just say that it could, okay? It absolutely couldn't. You're not in real space anymore. That's the whole idea. You cannot go faster than light in real space. You'd have to go outside of physical space. But because the laws of physics will not allow that. And you can tell me all you want, it's a sci-fi show. There's plenty of things that don't make physics sense. It doesn't matter. There are still consistencies that a universe has to maintain, or else it's anarchy. Now, let's talk about why it wouldn't work for a second reason. Even if you didn't think, or you don't believe that it goes outside physical space. What happened to shields? I know that this movie completely almost ignores shields exists, but would that not be, a pretty obvious use of shields to protect you from physical objects? Kinetic objects? Perhaps, laser-based technology, it can disperse the shield, but physical objects shouldn't be able to, not from what I remember. Perhaps I'm remembering wrong. Again, let's just say that even that's not enough. Say that force would just destroy the shields, because perhaps it can. I'm not 100%. I don't think that it should be, especially a ship of that particular size. You'd think their shield would be incredibly powerful and durable, but whatever. Maybe some of the smaller ships, I could say, okay, maybe the shielding on those are not as powerful. And a ship of that size should have tremendous shields. So that's another big problem. Moving on. And here is what really, really bothers me about this. That is something that you could have done at the very beginning and saved a lot of people's lives. Why didn't you? You have droids that can do this. Why didn't anybody do this in the Clone Wars? Or in the original trilogy? In the Galactic Civil War? Why did no one ever think to do this? And you see what I'm getting at? This ruins spaceship battles, because now I'm going to be thinking the entire time, oh, just fly your ship at light speed, just get a droid to do it, and you've won. Obviously, you can destroy an entire fleet. You've won. Or at least cripple half of a fleet. You know, you see how this doesn't stack up logically? It's absolutely ridiculous. This particular scene has more problems, I would say, than the rest of the movie, from a world's perspective. Because as much as the character development is just absolutely abysmal, I cannot stress that enough, this scene ruins any future space battles. Because there's no plausible way to explain this away. Like with Luke, you can say, okay, well, maybe Snoke's power was so powerful he was manipulating Luke's mind and Kylo's mind, okay? Fine. You can say, perhaps, Rey, I'm sure you can make up something if the Disney writers are even creative anymore, as to why she is so powerful. It wouldn't be a great explanation, but I'm sure you can come up with something. But this scene, what are you going to say? Because there's nothing you can say. There's literally nothing. There's no reason now you can't just use a ship like that. There's plenty of ships of that size to just do this again. What are you gonna say? Can't you use a droid to just do that? Can't, even if you're sacrifice one person? The show is filled with self-sacrifices. So you tell me how you would rectify this. How this is not honestly one of the biggest blights on the I keep saying this, the world building. It just, you have to have consistency in your work, and that's, no one has ever done this before. This is why I don't even consider these films canon. I really don't, because George Lucas is responsible for the first 6. Love or hate the prequels, love or hate the original, George Lucas wrote those. Those are George Lucas's work. That is Star Wars. This is Disney. This is not Star Wars. And I would like to try. I try desperately to give these films a chance, but I can't, because that scene will you can never rectify it unless you literally retcon it out of existence, which I pray that they do. That entire film needs to be completely retconned. Maybe make it like some kind of weird dream or some whatever. I don't care. Just take it out of the take both films out of the canon. Make Luke what he should have been, and bring in what are they called, the from the Legends comic, the Vazedong, is that what it is? The aliens from the intergalactic alien species that were immune to the Force. That would be cool. Bring that. Bring in Luke's children with and Leia's children. Don't make him some freaking hermit that is just has given up. I'm going way off topic here. I'm supposed to talk about that one particular scene with stupid Holdo blasting the Raddus into the friggin' Supremacy, which was the dumbest thing I've seen probably ever in cinema, because it just breaks the entire system. It doesn't work. Anyways, there is no justifiable way to rectify this. That's why it pisses me off, and that's why it is objectively the worst part of that movie. Because there's nothing you can do now. There is no justifying it. There's no going back. They have permanently ruined this franchise. And any logic that you could have put into it in a sci-fi movie, and people are going to bitch and say, well, it's a fantasy, it's a space opera. It's still sci-fi. So, anyways, I want to know what you guys think. Please comment your opinions. I really want to know. What do you think was the actual worst scene? Because to me, I don't think anything can beat that. Because there's no way you can justify it. And hopefully you did like the video and you'd give it a share and a like. And please remember to subscribe if you did. Thank you. Geekopolis, out.